in the home of the Odesanyas, and we're talking about Honorable Justice Michael Adeyinka Odesanya and his lovely wife of 52 years, would you believe this? Mrs. Stella Olubukola Odesanya, MFR. Well, let's talk about the man of the house. He has actually been in the vanguard of very many firsts. First of all, he's been lucky to have joined the League of the early Nigerians to have studied law at the prestigious Oxford University. He also was very lucky to have been a very close friend to the late State Chief Awolowo, whom he defended in that very celebrated case, the felony case in those days. And he has done quite a lot to uplift the legal profession. And I can show he's a legal icon. Would you believe that he's turning 90 and the whole world is at his feet? All drumming celebrations all over the place. He'll be 90 years on the 6th of June this year. And the celebration is in the air, it's very palpable. His wife for 52 years also has been lucky to have scored many firsts. One of the earliest permanent secretaries, female. I'm not too sure if she was the very first female permanent secretary in Lagos State. Well, she's just noted her formation. She's the very first one. And very many firsts. But I think they should tell their story themselves. It's better told by them. But let me first of all congratulate you, sir, and say welcome to the BCO Life the Show, sir.
Thank you very much.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, how does it feel to be 90 to start from that?
Thank you. How does it feel?
To be 90, sir.
I'm very comfortable and no health problems. And I'm enjoying life, as I've been doing for the past 90 years.
Glory be to God.
All is well. God is with me. And no problems. No problems.
Sir, I'd like us to go back memory lane.
Yes.
What life was like in your time. 90 odd years.
Life has been most enjoyable, but there are problems in Lagos. Criminal problems, economic problems, social problems, and so on. But when you are in the midst of the people who love you, things can get better. Yes.
I'm sure that if our viewers had the opportunity, they would want to ask you the question surrounding that celebrated case.
The treasonable felony. The treasonable felony.
Okay.
Yes. It was really an unfortunate one. It was absolutely political. And the judge in the High Court, Justice Show and more, as well as the judges, the three, and the Supreme Court then, got a few things wrong. Now, Awolowo had many enemies in the country. The leader of the opposition in the federal parliament, and with ambitions to improve the lot of the common man, education, health, agriculture, and so on. And the judge in the High Court was almost a brother of the late Justice Adeyinka, an enemy of Chief of Government Awolowo. Now, in the High Court, I made a submission. H.O. Davis backed me, and Adewale Thompson, may so rest in peace. But he overruled, if not looking at the authorities in support of our submission. What was the submission? Now we told him, look, you had no preliminary trial in the magistrate's court. Therefore, you must give us proofs of evidence, of witnesses. Simple. The authorities are clear. But he said no. He overruled. So we all walked out of his court. And we went across to Sir Adetokunbo Ademola, who said, but you must give us the proofs of evidence. All right, I sent for him. He sent for the judge. And we don't know what they discussed. But when the judge came back, if anyone told him that 2 times 2 would make 3, he would say, yes, I agree. I agree with you. And for instance, when Professor O.S.D. Onobamiro gave evidence against our law, he said, well, in his judgment, that an Ijebu man would not lie against an Ijebu man. So that whatever I said must be true. But our law had Ijebu enemies, known to everybody. And in any case, I mean, it's not logical to say that in a Ijebu man would not lie against an Ijebu man. So many pitfalls in the case, both in law and on the facts. But he was convicted, and his associates with him, Jakonde, Tony Anahoro, and so on. And we appealed. Adewale Thompson, H.O. Davis had come out of the case, and the leader of the criminal bar, Victor Durand, D-U-R-A-N-D, in England, to argue the appeal of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. The 3 of us met, and we said, if appeals to the Privy Council were still available to us, he would not waste his time before a political judiciary in Nigeria, but he will go to the Court of Appeal, and in 5 minutes, all the appeals will be allowed. But we said, well, we stopped all that when we became independent, and for very good reasons. Our sovereignty wouldn't allow that, and so everything would end here in Nigeria. Now, dirty waters passed under the bridge, and they took our law. Wherever I went, I visited him. Calabar, yes, here in Lagos, but they took him to Lekki. And in those days, the mosquitoes were like elephants. And my brother told me, Alhaji Yesu Gbadamoshi, that we must not go there. And in any case, we would have to remove our trousers within a short distance from the place. Well, it would have been too much for us. So There are lots of farms. But I remember when we went to him in Calabar, myself, Professor Ogulesi, and Dr. Lele Odulate in Calabar. I was very sad, but he told me not to worry because the thing would end in our favor. I said, how? That politically, we would rejoice in the end. Well, very shortly after that, then the first coup in Nigeria. And when Gawan got to the power, he discharged him, he released him, and powerful things Ifeoluwa did for this country in the short period of, how many years? About 9 years of Gawan's rule. He was Minister of Finance and Vice Chairman of the Executive Council. So all was well in the end. We laughed last, okay. And therefore we laughed best.
That's true.
Yes.
They say memories are made of this.
Yes.
So you must have said quite a lot of memories, and quite a lot of our viewers are watching this show now.
Yes.
Now, I didn't tell you about the Three Musketeers in Ikorodu.
Oh.
Early people that read law in Ikorodu.
Yes.
He belonged to that special category. We also have Thomas Benson and the late, great
Adeyinka Odesanya.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's all about success stories. And this all wouldn't have been possible if Justice Odesanya didn't have a strong rock of Gibraltar in this wonderful woman here, who, as I told you, has also a lot of firsts in our kitchen. Let me ask you this. Let me take your mind back to 52 years. How did you meet each other?
When he came to Abeokuta one day to see me, somebody must have told him about me. He decided to marry an Ikorodu.
I was in the higher college there.
Okay.
I was in higher college, Yaba. I didn't know him. Incidentally, I'm from Ikorodu too.
Okay.
My father was born in Ikorodu, the late Blessed Jacob, J.S. Odulate, the manufacturer of Labuku powder.
Okay.
It is being done now by one of my brothers. I think he had some friends, and they were talking of girls whom they can go out with and whom they will eventually marry. And my name was mentioned to him. He was in Lagos. I was in Abeokuta. And then one day, this guy came to Abeokuta to see a cousin of mine. His name was Aliu Sholebo. We called him Bodakud. Apparently it was just a way of seeing me for the first time. That's how we met. We met in Abeokuta.
He's heard so much
and
about
my father was very happy because my father too had promised his God that his first would marry an Ikorodu man. Because my father was born in Ikorodu, but at the age of 14, he migrated to Abeokuta and he settled there, had all of us, raised all of us there, but he wanted his first daughter to marry an Ikorodu man. So it was a dream come true. That's how I met him.
Wonderful. 52 years ago. By the way, Madame here is 82. And she doesn't look it one bit. One thing that runs in the family is strength, longevity, and his good looks. What would you say is responsible for all these qualities I just read? Good looks, good health.
Thank you for all the compliments. But I would attribute that to the amazing grace of God.
It surpasses everything.
Yes. Thank God that I met him. He looked after me. We have our idiosyncrasies at times, but the good doesn't have it. But he looked after me, and there's some people who say, if they come back to this world again, they will marry the same man. And I mean it. If I had to come to this world again and I see him, he will be the first man of my choice.
Wonderful. Now, marriage in those days, what was it like compared to what we have these days?
Well, the mind one takes into a marriage matters a lot. After all, our courtship went on for some years before we got married. And because I said I loved you to her, and she said she loved me, in 1942. But we married in November 1951. So a long period. We were really satisfied that we could spend the rest of our lives with each other. No, there would be no problem. And no one ever settled any quarrel between both of us. We would talk about a problem, sleep over it if necessary, and by the morning, the way would be clear for us. It's been a most enjoyable union.
Would you cast your mind back and pinpoint one particular episode that almost made you give up on the marriage? 90 odd years. So you got to really look back in time and take your time. Very critical.
I cannot remember any day that I felt like just packing my things and leaving him. I cannot. Well, we have problems. And who doesn't? At times you come home late. That I didn't like. When he was young, of course. But that didn't push me to say, oh, that is the end. I have a lot of stories being told about him. But my own decision is what he says that goes. It is what he says that I believe.
I just hope that the younger ones are watching this program and taking a cue from this. These days, things look the other way.
Well, our parents at that time, they would not think of you who haven't gone to a man's house to marry, to stay with him. You can't go back to them that you have come. You have come to where? So that might be how they brought me up or brought us up. So you go there. For better, for worse, it is there, you are there permanently.
Sir, I'm still trying to, you have an incredible sense of capturing things.
Yeah.
Even 52 years ago, you're saying it as if it's at the back of your finger. Now, let me try and still see if you remember some of those very little details that surrounded your marriage there. Would you like to paint the picture of what your marriage was like then?
Well, we got married in England in November 1951. 2 months later, we returned home in January 1952. And why did we marry in England? Because the father was not very happy. I think he would have liked to have plenty of noise and at Abeokuta, the whole of Ikorodu, going over to Abeokuta, all that, plenty of money flowing all over the place. I wanted to avoid all that. So the Jebu element in me compelled me to say I must we must do these things in England. Well, how much did we spend? Almost nothing. No ceremonies, traditional and so on for anybody. But when we came back, my brother arranged to do everything necessary, with the parent. She lost her mother when she was about 12 years old. So in the end, everybody was satisfied. And we had very good children, 4 of them, with about 12 grandchildren, all beautiful and doing well. So they give us plenty of joy. The children.
Isn't that lovely?
Yes. The children. For instance, of the 4 children, only one is permanently resident in Lagos. And that is Mrs. Wright.
The lovely
yeah. And the others are abroad, 1 in America, 2 in London. But it doesn't make us feel the absence of those 2. She faces all the responsibilities which
on behalf
of all the 4 of them, and all is well. And of course, the support from Mrs. Falami and from Rashid Badamoshi made things easy for everybody.
That's wonderful. Now, Mark, 52 is really a long time. What are the secrets? The marriage tips?
The secrets, quite honestly, to think that you've been together for 52 years, it's unbelievable. It's like saying, how do you feel when you are young, you were 80, or how are you feeling when you are 82? I don't know. I said the amazing God of the amazing grace of God. But I think it is give and take. We're all, as the Bible says, we're all sinners. The Bible says, what you don't consider as a sin, it's a sin in God's eye. So with that element of sin in human being is there in us. And that can make anybody say, well, look, this man is too difficult, or this lady talks too much. It hasn't been so in our case. And we are thanking God that we are still together, and by the grace of God, we continue to be together until death do us part. And we are saying now that by the grace of God, we still have many more years
Fruitful years
to get together. He's always saying, I have more years, I still have many years with you.
So much of that.
But whatever it is, I want to be the first to go. I cannot beg for you to go and leave me never. Whatever is going to take you, you must take me first. That is what he is saying. And you and the children will be looking after the family.
But by God's grace.
And by God's grace, that is still going to be very, very far away. And all of us will be there. I just want to correct you one thing, just in case you didn't get it. I said my early daughter in marriage is Wunola. Yes, she is, because she lived with me. I mean, she's the closest to me among my biological children. But she is the first child of my sweet, beloved brother-in-law, just
Chief Rashid, Chief Badamosi.
S.O. Badamosi. He loved We got on very well. And I got on very well with the family. And I believe that they will feel the same about it.
You see, there are many lessons to learn from this
they do,
interview here.
Because any of them
Because she's talking about somebody that you would call an in-law. And she's actually proudly proclaiming her as her own daughter because there was no animosity in any way between them. These are the things that they will break marriages in some homes. So I think there are many things to take as lessons in this exercise of today.
That's right. Take love to marriage, you get love there.
Wow.
Yes.
Africa and the whole world expect a lot from us. The largest country in Black Africa. Everybody, when they talk of Nigeria, everyone wants to visit the country to see God's miracle in Nigeria. But then they get here, they get disillusioned. And
Now, I think let's prefer the way forward, and that will be the last.
yes, we pray to God for that. All of us are praying. Because although God helps those who help themselves, but we are all praying for peace in our time.
May God answer
I don't know how many
prayers.
more years I've got, but I want to enjoy those years with my children and grandchildren.
We'll enjoy them.
Yes.
Come on. So what do you wish him at night?
I wish him longer life. It's long already, but much longer life. I wish him very good health. He has very good health. I envy him for that, and I thank God for him for that. And I wish that when the time comes, when the time comes, he will not close his eyes with tears.
God's grace. These are profound prayers.
Yes, I would want him to close his eyes with a smile on his face because he has fulfilled all these desires of his heart. Because God has been very kind to him. He keeps on saying every night, when we have our evening night prayer, that God has been good to him. God has been good to this family. God has been good to his extended family. So I wish him the best, and I wish him all that he wishes himself, that all his children will be around, and all his brothers' children that whom he loves so much. Loves them, almost his favorite, Rashidi, anytime, come and see what is wrong in the house, put it right. They look after us. And I wish that all of them, all of us, surround him, and that he will enjoy this 90th birthday that he's looking forward to, because that is his great first in the family, both in Balamusi Odesanya's family and my family, the Ojulate family. Nobody has reached 90. Perhaps this will be the first, and others will be following.
I have to vacate my seat so that I'll leave both of you to do what you did in November of 1951. Did I get that? Yes.
Yeah, naughty boy. Naughty boy. I will not ask him to do what he did when he proposed, because he knelt down. He said, I would, will you marry me on his knees? But I won't ask him to do that. We just assume that he did that. Okay. But we will get together, and as soon as we have the marriage, or when we get to, because that would be terrible.
What you did
what you did
at the reception.
At the reception.
When you were cutting cake. Congratulations.
Thank you very
Congratulations,
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Congratulations.
God bless you.
This is a great one.